Let's go.
That keeps reminding me of the Paul Rudd meme.
Paul Rudd meme. What meme?
You know, like the hot ones where they're like, "Look at us here."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just get into it.
Yeah,
What did
well,
you
you
think
said
of,
it. You said
What
it.
did you think about Quantamania?
Quantamania.
Antman and the Wasp. Quantamania.
Quantamania. It's interesting. Okay, so yeah, the girl, me and you and girl that I've been seeing lately went and saw it, and I knew that she wasn't. I knew that I was watching it the whole time, being like, "Fuck, this is a bad Marvel movie to like try to get a girl into," and then I was like worried about that. Not like worried, but I was just like, "Damn," you know what I mean? I was just thinking about all the things of like how like I don't know how it's
Be
just
like, how does she know why people think that Ant-Man saved the
yeah, but
world?
it also made me see Marvel differently. You know how like a Guardians movie is like, oh, you're like, oh, I know anybody could watch this and they're gonna fucking love this because
Yeah.
this is great. Like this is just like this. It doesn't matter how much you hate comic books or superhero movies. If you saw Guardians 1, like you'll like it.
Yeah.
Like that feels like that. And not everyone's gonna like it. Not everyone does.
Yeah, and
But
Marvel definitely has a few like they're the
yeah.
best of their movies. You could just pop in. You don't have to know it.
Exactly. And there's always those ones that's like, oh, I know this person would like Black Widow because,
X, Y, and
Florence
Z.
Pugh or, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like, it's funny and whatever, like, I know this person would like Thor because it's this, like,
It's
but
definitely just felt like the movie version of seeing like watching a TV show. You know what I mean? Just like another episode of the Marvel universe
yeah,
in some
yeah.
ways.
I've never had like, even after Thor, I mean, I was upset, like I didn't love that movie, you know what I mean? But I wasn't like this critical of Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I backed up Marvels for
Yeah, I was the one that was hating.
yeah, I've been backing up Marvel, all forever,
Yeah.
but James Gunn really stirred up the movie world, I think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And Marvel has just had this spell of like pissing off the audience kind of somehow.
Well, it was kind of crazy. You're like watching the Guardians trailer before it, and the Guardians trailer was just so much better looking and feeling than any of Ant-Man's even
Yeah.
highest moments.
Yeah, the Guardians trailer had more feeling than this movie. But this movie is also not
Honestly,
not
for
bad.
me, no, the movie isn't bad. It's just bland
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Like it doesn't reach crazy heights.
Wait.
It doesn't have. It's not
So
as.
you're saying it's bland, then never mind, I gotta fight against that. It was actually pretty fucking cool.
But I mean, like it was bland good. You could be
Yeah.
on the bad side.
But the jelly guy, right? So the jelly guy was amazing, and the jelly guy was like a great character that will be underlooked.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was also
The Quantumanium like people, it was like so. And I guess that was the point. It just didn't feel like solidified in what they were going for.
yeah.
They were like all over the place, and that was fine. It definitely made me appreciate. I was like, at least it wasn't as like the offensively bad moments of Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, this is a step up. But then there was some things about Love and Thunder that I appreciated more, like the villain. Like
Yeah.
it was a little bit more unique, and Kang was cool, but like this felt more like a Kang movie than like an Ant-Man movie. No,
yeah,
I mean
this
maybe
this
a
did-
Wasp. Wasp like it was like more like Ant-Man and Kang.
this did more for Kang than anything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? This was Kang's not origin, but this is Kang's like true like introduction to the MCU.
And it was cool.
And Ant-Man really was like a side character. Like they fucked up like really the movie ended at such a point, and I guess we got to spoil it, right? Like we can spoil it.
Spoilers from here on out, we'll say.
Yeah. So if you want to skip, at least 5 minutes or so. But the whole ending, where it ended up with like them, like him and Wasp being like stuck in the the quantum realm, like that, like the way they were like it was all about like their love and stuff, that just did not hit at all. You know what I mean? Like they had no setup like to like how much they like really like love each other. You know what I mean? Like
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's no real
It feels like they stripped out a lot of her lines.
yeah, there's no real
Also, someone definitely pointed out that at one point, she has that brown haircut, At some point, it just switches to light brown, like with streaks in it, and they forgot to change it.
What the hell?
I feel like they need to start thinking more practically with how they shoot sets because they're relying too much on animation sometimes,
Yeah.
and like the CGI-ness. But there was
I
cool.
wasn't that upset about it. You know, this one was tough because it was mainly CGI. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
just the idea of it.
I think
But
they could have made like a few more practical sets to
yeah,
work
I
on.
would no,
But
I would have enjoyed that. You know,
there was some great highlights of the movie too, though.
and
Like
I would have enjoyed a little bit more like before and after the quantum realm. Maybe you
yeah.
know, I don't
And the
know.
best parts to me were the beginning and the outro. Like the Paul Rudd walking down the street, being like, "My life is weird." And
Yeah,
there is something cool about the fact that like he saved the day in Endgame, and like he kind of sparked the Kang Dynasty.
yeah,
Like that's interesting to me in like his story, but it didn't feel like I don't know. He was like mad at his daughter for using the suit, and then he was like, "All right, whatever."
yeah.
Like that didn't really
Yeah.
like
He knew she had a suit too. He's like, you got a suit in the car in the real world, and then when she popped it out in the quantum realm, he's like, wait, you got a suit?
yeah
And it's
like
like you already knew that. Like,
it didn't feel like they patched up any emotional stuff
yeah,
other than saying like, "Damn, we just beat that boss. Like we're all good now, right?"
yeah, and her just being into it, just be, doesn't. I mean, kind of, I guess, makes sense because of like the grandpa, just and like just. I don't know, because he was, he also was like the badass at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
kind of
he was
came
my
through and
favorite character.
saved the day and showed that he's like the, if this is an Ant-Man movie, he's the first Ant-Man.
Yeah. And it really, I mentioned it in the movie theater, but it really just drove me crazy that the mom just kept being like, "I'll tell you guys later. I'll tell you guys later." It's like, no one's shooting at you. You're like, not in
Yeah,
immediate danger. Just be like, "There's this dude. He's really bad and he's trying to get us."
yeah,
But I mean, I know it's for the story plotline, but I'm just like, ah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they could have, the opening scene with her and Kang, was just like very short and weird. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then like they took so long to introduce Kang. Elton, you have not showed up for any podcast ever.
Friend of the pod, Elton. Hello. Meow.
I wonder if he ended up in the video. I hope so.
I hope so too. There were some really great moments though too. Like the building holding on to the other building that's like
The buildings are like, yeah, truly like,
they're like your buildings aren't alive.
because you were saying the jelly wasn't that, memorable, but the buildings to me were so cool. You know what I mean? But also it feels like, even though I love them both, like it feels like it is gonna be less memorable. You know what I mean? Than like Korg. You know what I mean? Even though Thor,
It felt
Love
like
and
that's what they
Thunder,
were trying to go for there.
yeah,
But it was nice when he was like, "I have holes now," and he like went crazy.
yeah,
It just felt like there was a lot going on. It was like a really complex, like a lot of characters. I was kind of sad that this is what they use MODOK for. I hope that another version of MODOK comes through.
really.
Yeah, I like the MODOK. He's kind of a weird character.
I think it was. I thought MODOK was cool in this movie.
I didn't hate it. Have you seen the Spy Kids comparisons?
No, but yeah. I mean, I feel like people have been talking about that for a while, like even before the movie came out.
It like is even funnier with now that you have seen MODOK. Look at this.
Oh wow,
Isn't that funny?
that is funny. That's great.
But I liked it. I mean, like it was a good fun time. I think if I had any biggest complaint, it was that it just seemed too dark at times. Like I wish it was brighter. Like the movie,
Yeah.
not themes, like literally the screen,
Yeah, yeah. Literally the color.
the color of it was brighter because sometimes it would just be too dark. But biggest highlight was definitely Jonathan Majors. He's gonna be crazy as Kang, like just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, Kang seems like. Well, I mean, and that's other people's complaints too. Is like, honestly, the scene when Kang's like, when he walks out and he's pissed and he's just like, yeah, he's just like that felt brutal. It was like not too brutal because it's still Disney and Marvel, but that felt brutal to me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, of like, holy shit, this dude is just like murdering people real quick and he's pissed. But then he kind of like just got his ass whooped by Ant-Man for the most part. You know what I mean? He definitely whooped his ass for a bit, but
Yeah.
like, you know, people were saying, you know, it seemed like he got beat too quick by Ant-Man.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, he also I don't think underestimated Ant-Man's getting big thing because the
Yeah.
first time when they were like in an encounter, they're in like a tight space, so he can't do that get big move.
Yeah.
Also, he probably hasn't had to have a real fight in a long time. Like that dude's just been chilling
Yeah.
because the Quantumverse is even longer
Yeah.
than the regular time, right?
Yeah, and he
But
did fuck up, you know, yeah, just being big, he could fuck up the town. You
dude,
know, his
I
dynasty, you
when he was
know.
like, I think I've killed you before. He's like, what's the one with the hammer?
Yeah.
He's like,
Dude, that whole thing, that was
that was
mean.
yeah.
That whole, yeah, when he walks up to him in jail, and then he's just basically like, yeah, I'll kill your daughter, like, or you can go get this shit for me,
Yep.
you know.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's kind of wild. I also love that. Man, there's that like specific type of Marvel comic book hater that was like when we saw Kang in Loki, that was like Kang's supposed to be blue, he's blue. That I thought that like they nailed it in this movie.
Yeah, yeah, I
It
like
was
the
like,
little
yeah, the helmet is what
yeah,
makes him. I was like, this looks perfect.
and his chair thing, and the fact that I think he was trying to, you know, he had that rigged up to power like the whole dynasty he
Yeah,
had, where he's like, I'm taking everybody. So that's also like, to me, that is kind of the coolest part now, you know, and and to me, like, it's almost like hard to predict it beforehand, but once Marvel, like, once it always happens, you're like, oh, I should have known it was gonna end here. You know what I mean? Like, even with Spider-Man, maybe per se, like, there's a lot of things where you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? But it's like, oh, I should have known it was gonna end here. I should have known they tricked us and made us think, you know what I mean, one thing in the trailer,
yeah,
but I should have known it was gonna end here. And you know, it was easy to think that like Ant-Man was gonna lose. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And part of me really wishes that would have happened. You know what I mean? And Kang would have just won, and it's just dangerous now. You know
Well,
what I mean?
the
Like,
interesting thing is like even though he did win, he kind of
yeah, he did kind of
lost.
lose, yeah.
But not to his fault. He just doesn't
But they both
understand.
lost. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's the one thing too, is that like I wish it was like I wish he would have got away, but Kang like, or you know, or I don't know, he would have just got sent back, like maybe like survived, but like Kang won.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
crazy. It's like you either let this wild, powerful Kang go,
Yeah.
or you face all of the rest of them. What do you
I mean,
pick?
it would have been crazy though if they just did a better movie and Ant-Man does just die. You know what I mean? Like this is just his end and Cassie's left. Like,
I
you
thought
know,
maybe the mom was gonna die,
yeah.
but then that'd be two Marvel movies in a row where the mom dies, or Hank. Um, just
It would have
something.
been crazy if they set it up for Ant-Man to die.
Yeah, I do love at the end. She was like, "It's not my birthday," and he's like, "I know, but we're gonna throw it for you anyways."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish they would have fleshed out the emotional, because like
Exactly.
that was the highlight of it. The fact that it felt more contained than any of the Marvel movies of recent. Like there was no new characters introduced besides Kang.
Yeah.
That's common. A villain being introduced is a normal thing.
But they did nothing for character development outside of Cassie
Yeah.
and Kang. And Cassie is just like, yeah, it just seemed weird that she was just so
The
very
mom a little
quickly
bit
in
too.
it. Yeah, the mom too.
But it was mostly just being like, here's more backstory.
Yeah.
Bill Murray was a nice little highlight. He was kind of funny and weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting his character. Like where he was supposed to be like the friend to help him and then it like just very quickly turns and he was just like an asshole to Michael Keaton low key, but then like yeah, Michael Keaton didn't really care cuz he slept with a one girl a couple times, he
Oh,
said.
you mean what's that guy's name? Not Michael Keaton.
Yeah, not Michael Keaton. Fuck, we couldn't
Freeman?
think of his name.
No, Michael Gordon
Michael Douglas.
Douglas. There you go.
Michael Douglas.
There you go.
Still a Michael.
Yeah, it was nice. You know, he didn't. He's a supportive husband.
Yeah.
He's a supportive husband.
Yeah, but that was still crazy what Bill Murray did.
True, bro. I can't believe that they made his ship look so much like the Ten Rings and then had no actual connection to the Ten Rings. So it makes me wonder if the Ten Rings are going to be like a multi-verse travel device.
I mean, I don't know, but maybe it's just a future signal. You know what I mean?
It could be,
Like,
or it could be Kang.
yeah,
Kang made those.
yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, there's a lot of kings.
It was definitely one of the better mid-credit scenes. You
I
don't think so?
disagree. I do
I mean,
disagree.
ending credit.
Not even just like fakely for the pod, but like
You didn't like that? You didn't like the
no, I
Kangs?
didn't. I mean, I liked it, but it was like, I just know that that's like, I don't know. I just, like, I already knew that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it gave me no new information, if you ask me.
What
It was
about the
cool to
Loki
see
trailer?
it.
The Loki moment.
The Loki moment was cool.
Owen Wilson on the big screen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, because I guess that's interesting. Like, I kind of like, I don't know why, and maybe I don't want this, but I guess I was just maybe kind of thinking maybe like Loki has nothing to do with Kang anymore. You know what I mean? But I guess he's searching for Kang, like,
Yeah, I mean, they're still working on the timeline.
but how is he with, still know, like, how does Owen Wilson still know him? How did he find Mobius?
That's the beauty of the credits. The credit
Now that I'm
clip
thinking
off.
about it, yeah, how the fuck did he find Mobius?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, because that
Leaves
was
you
the
on a
saddest
cliffhanger.
part, thinking, like, where's Mobius? He's just gone. Like, does he even remember who Loki is? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Like, no, Sylvie.
No Sylvie. But she might be sitting in that place, being the one who remains. Who knows?
She who remains.
She who remains. It is kind of. This definitely felt like. I think Marvel was prepared for this movie not to do too great because the week before this they've been announcing all these kind of like TV
Dude,
show cutbacks.
No. The announcement started after the DC slate,
That's true too.
and they were happening that day too.
Yeah, this one just felt like. I don't know. It was just a pretty average. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. If that makes sense.
No, let's keep dwelling on the fact that Marvel has dropped a sleuth of information in the past 3 weeks. You
It's
know
true.
what I mean? Like, they don't do that.
No, I
They're
mean they've been
putting it
cutting.
out there
They've been
now.
cutting it back, especially the TV shows.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm okay with that. I would rather there be like 2 amazing TV shows a year versus like 4 mediocre.
Yeah, but I just don't. I also don't want the same shit to happen where it's like, all right, like you got, there's supposed to. There could be season twos of shit that is just never, or like we gotta wait like 3 years for season twos. You know what I mean? And like,
That just happens so with TV sometimes.
I know, but I would rather, but some TV is good every year. You know
I
what
almost wish that they wouldn't have been like, let's set up a TV and movie universe that collide. Like, it would have been cool if they were doing what they're doing with Kang, but a TV version with somebody else. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be great if they did different universes that end up like before the multiverse would be the best time to just do some weird shit where it's like, because they could even just do some side shit where it's like, they do like a Miss Marvel show, but like, the Iron Man she knows is Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. Like it's just a photo of Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? And maybe he died already too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The Thanos. Like
Because
I
like
don't know.
what
Like
worked with like Peacemaker was that it like took a small character and then like made a big little story in there, without it being like this thing that affects the whole universe, but
Yeah.
really affects the character.
yeah. And Marvel, Marvel's done that with Moon Knight.
True.
You know what I mean? And like
Loki was
their
great
shows
too.
have been the same. Yeah, their shows have been that. They've a lot of their shit has been its own stories and its own things. That,
Yeah, but I mean like. If you look at like WandaVision leads right into Doctor Strange, like that's
Yeah.
like pinnacle. Like you
Well,
have
some
to
of
see
them-
that.
Some of them do, yeah, and they kind of mention that when they announce the shows too. They'll say like, because right now it's like, oh, like, what Secret Invasion is gonna lead into Captain America or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
New World Order. You know what I mean?
Something
And
like that.
and yeah, Miss Marvel like kind of leads into the Marvels.
The Marvels.
I don't know, like
Guardian special. It leads into Guardians 3. Let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. Guardians is May 5th, dude. You know.